Hi, my name is Lakeisha Hines.
And I'm Willie Hines.
And you are watching the Storehouse for Caregivers. We are so happy that you joined us today. We are looking forward to sharing some insight with you today. Hopefully that will motivate, encourage, and inspire you to keep navigating this journey and to stay on this path of special needs parenting.
And today, as you know, begins a new month. We're getting out of January where we have all the new things, new ideas we want to accomplish for 2026. The resolutions. But now we're moving into a significant month in the year. There's a couple things that are kind of relative to February.
Yes.
What are those things?
Really important in February. But before we do that, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. We need you to do that. We also want you to comment, right? Anything that you hear in this episode that really resonates with you, really speaks to you, please drop comments. We love to get those comments. Now, back to what you said. February. So two main things. February is known for the love month. I absolutely love that, right? I love love. I really, really do. I am a hopeful romantic. So February is definitely my month. But what else goes on in February?
It's also Black History Month.
It is. I love that too.
Yeah, man. We have an opportunity to learn more and more about those key figures that help the world be what it is today.
Yes. And you know what? There is one other thing too. The Love of Reading Month. February is the Love of Reading Month. So for all my avid readers out there, encourage someone else to pick up a book and read. Your kids, your neighbors, your family members, coworkers, everybody. We need to be reading, right? That's how we expand our knowledge.
Yes.
And just really, it can transport us into a completely different world if you're into like the fictional, right? So major things going on in February. Okay. So we just wanted to take a moment to highlight some people who were historic in the African-American community. Now, we wanted to spotlight Claudia Gordon. She was born in Jamaica, 1972. She is the first known deaf Black woman to earn a Juris Doctorate. Oh, my gosh. Lost her hearing at the age of 8. She went to the Lexington School for Deaf in New York City. She attended Howard University. She got her BA in political science. She has advocated for disabled people for years, but specifically it was highlighted during Hurricane Katrina. And so she's done some phenomenal things in spite of being completely deaf.
Yeah. So I think what we want to accomplish is that, one, for our families to ensure that the special abilities that our children have, don't limit them. Allow them to explore. Allow them the opportunity to fail, because we have challenges being protective and overprotective at times. Understood. But these phenomenal people that we've highlighted for the month of February who are African American, we just wanted to show that you still can do some great things no matter the ability or disability that you have.
Yes. So don't limit yourself or your children. All right. On to my favorite topic, right? Yes. On to my favorite topic. So first of all, I love acronyms, right? So today is really love. That's actually what we want to focus on. But we're using it as an acronym today. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But one of the things we wanted to share was this wonderful blog that I ran across by Kate Swinson, and it's Confessions of a Special Needs Parent. Of a Special Needs Parent. I wonder if people could be a fly on the wall in our house and in other homes of parents who have children with special needs, the things that they would hear, the things that they would see. The reality is parenting is hard. In general, it's difficult. But when you have a child with a chronic healthcare condition and or special ability, it can be 2 times more difficult. And I mean, think about it. We're raising a tiny human from birth to adulthood without any type of instruction manual. And we're just silently hoping and praying that they turn out sane and happy, and hopefully they become productive members of society.
So I would say just imagine if this person is that you've given birth to or are leading and helping grow that has some type of autism, Down syndrome, some type of brain injury, something like that. Just remember that you are not the doctor. You definitely are. I'll say this. You're not the clinical doctor.
Yes, but you
are
the
a
expert
specialist. You are an expert in what
of
you
your
do.
child. Yes.
And at times we understand there's a human factor with that where you're not really happy about raising this little one at times. I'll speak specifically. I've been up since about 3:45 this morning.
Yes.
Changing, bedding, bathing, because our son doesn't sleep through the night. I told him this morning, I said, man, we aren't friends today. we are not friends this morning, man. I don't like you.
I love you, but I don't like you right now.
Man, we're not friends right now. But again, and that's a human side of it. And you're going to feel some ways sometimes about things like that, even borderline resentment at times. But the big thing is continue that love. I'll say that.
Yes.
Just continue that love for that child.
Yes, and also when our children are first diagnosed, it's difficult. It can be very scary. And at first, we may not want to acknowledge it. We may not want to accept it. You don't want to believe it, right? But once you get over that and you actually start talking about it and educating yourself, you need the knowledge. That helps. You need to be able to vent. This is a safe space for that. You need a friend. You need people who understand. We have said for years that it's so important that we have friends who are within the community and friends that are outside of the community. For our friends that are inside of the community, we don't have to do a lot of explaining when we're having a conversation about our son, Braylon, with special needs. But the ones outside of the community, we don't want to talk about Braylon, our son with special needs. We want to just be Willie and Lakeisha, right? So, and that's really important to have that balance. So, some of these confessions in this blog, Kate actually asked her readers to share some of their confessions, and she heard back from like hundreds of parents, and she highlighted some of her favorites, and then we highlighted some of our favorites. So I'll start with this one. I love my daughter to the end of my entire being. I prayed so hard to become a mom, and she is who I got, and I love that I was blessed to have her. But sometimes I really hate that this will be my life forever. I have people who encourage me to see the beauty in autism, but the life I live every day isn't always beautiful.
Honest.
Heartfelt. Yes.
That we may all feel at times.
Yes.
Another one that we saw that we liked, I'm scared that I don't love my son enough. Through the trauma of the diagnoses and the daily difficulties we face, I sometimes fantasize about running away. I wish my life was different. Yes. Raw, real, love it. Because this is the reality. We will have days where this is difficult. We will have days where it seems like an impossible task. And the list of things to do continues to add and grow. And the minute you check something off the list, 2 more things get added onto the list that you have to do. We currently are in a transition period, transitioning to adulthood, benefits changing, insurance changing. It has been crazy. But at the end of the day, we are all this guy has, and we have to make sure that we continue loving on him, pushing him, advocating for him, but also taking care of ourselves. Yep. We'll share just a couple more. This parent said, I'm not planning for college. Instead, I'm planning a way to pay for her care for the rest of her life. Yep. And I think about that because we have 4 children, and 3 out of the 4, we do have to plan for college. But one of them, just like this parent, we are preparing and praying that we're able to provide care for the rest of his life, even beyond us. Yes. Even beyond us. And the last one, I have a sad moment every single day about the things that my son will miss out on because of his nonverbal severe autism. I do everything I can to help him, but it never seems like it's enough.
I allow myself one good gut-wrenching cry a week. If I didn't limit it, I wouldn't be able to function. He was diagnosed 2.5 years ago, and it hasn't gotten easier.
Yeah.
I love the fact that this person allows themselves to cry, to release that. Those tears are cleansing, they're healing, and we actually do more harm when we try to keep it inside and hold it in. It's so much better to release it. You feel so much better after the fact. Does it change your circumstance or situation? No, but it definitely does release all of that tension and pressure and stress just for that moment.
Yeah. And I like the fact that she's giving herself permission
Yes.
to do that.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
So our acronym LOVE. Loving our varying exceptionalities. For all of our special needs parents out there who have children within the school system, you know that there's something called varying exceptionalities, right? So we wanted to really take a moment to highlight that we are loving our varying exceptionalities. We're embracing our children, we're embracing ourselves, and the beauty in difference, because honestly, they are different. They are different. We don't want to make them feel that way. We don't want to treat them that way. But at the end of the day, they are different. And we really want to highlight embracing those differences.
So some things to focus on in loving our varying exceptionalities. One is reframing disability into difference and dignity.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I think a lot of times we don't allow our loved ones with special needs to have their dignity. And that is so important. Like, we will be in the middle of the grocery store talking to another parent about the poops that they had this week, their constipation, their doctor's appointments.
That's private.
That is kind of private, right? So we do need to do a better job in making sure that we're allowing their dignity to remain intact. We need to focus on learning to love our child without comparison or apology. That's really important, to not compare. And that's good for us, too.
Yeah.
The neurotypicals, to not compare ourselves to others, not compare ourselves to other parents. Oh, man, they seem to be doing such a better job than me, or they seem to be handling this so well. We should not compare ourselves to anyone else, nor our children, and not apologize for loving our kids just the way that they are.
The next one is, and I'm add a little spin to it, is recognizing that parents, we as parents have varying exceptionalities too.
Who, us?
Us.
Oh.
And I want to say not even recognize, but remember that we have some special talents as well, some different strengths, limits, triggers, all of the above.
Yes.
And we vary from parent to parent, from husband to wife, with our strengths and weaknesses as we relate to our children.
I love what you said about triggers, because normally when we're talking about triggers, we're thinking about the person with special needs, their triggers. But we often don't think about our own triggers, that we do have them as well. So I love that you highlighted that. One of my absolute top things to focus on are letting go of guilt, shame, and why us thinking. Oh my goodness. Do you remember early on when Braylon first got sick? And for those of you who don't know, our son was born completely healthy. He contracted bacterial meningitis when he was 5.5 months old, which led to strokes and seizures and a lot of severe brain damage in multiple areas of his brain. But when he was really, really sick, I remember asking, why us? Why us? And questioning God, why us? And I learned as I matured and as I got closer to God and strengthened and increased my faith, I recognized, like, why not us? Why not us? How are we any different or better than anybody else? This can happen literally to anyone. And so we're not exempt. And the thing that encourages both of us regularly is knowing that we have a God that's with us, that
Yeah.
never leaves us, never forsakes us, and will give us the strength, the energy, the grace, all the things that we need to be able to take care of Braylon and do all the things that we have to do every single day.
And next is they're celebrating progress that doesn't look like the world's progress or their version of success. And we're talking about progress from even if it's minute, celebrating those wins, and looking at that silver lining in each situation. Again, we have as adults and quote unquote neurotypical adults, we have a lot of progress to make ourselves. Yes. And we're asking people to be patient with us. We have to do the same for our children. Yes. Be supportive, be challenging, to assist them with developing, great habits, be patient, but continue to celebrate the small progression that they make.
Yes, every year, the beginning of the year, I try to pick a word or phrase that I'm going to focus on for the entire year. So last year, it was progress, not perfection. And we really do have to focus on making progress, celebrating those small wins, and not seeking perfection, because that's a goal we will never achieve.
Attain.
We will never attain. So just some things for you all to think about, right, as you're listening to this, and maybe jot this down to think about later on and to discuss with some of your friends who are in the community. What's one thing about your child that the world might overlook, but that you actually cherish? And I think for us, I'll speak for myself, for Braylon, it's his laugh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, when he laughs, it just lights up a room and it just brings me so much joy. I don't care what is going on. It completely shifts my mood, his smile and his laugh. And, someone might overlook that because people laugh and smile all the time, but they don't realize that that's not all the time for him. And so those are golden opportunities to catch that. And so, man, yeah, that just brings me so much joy.
Well, I'm overlooking that today with our experience in the middle of the night. But no, I love his laugh, his huge smile, big dimples that he has. I love that. Interesting. Another one is what have you had to unlearn? What expectations did you have to unlearn that you didn't even realize you had?
Yes. Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Because we have some expectations for our children with neurotypical and our children with special needs that we didn't even expect to we didn't cognitively think that we had those expectations of our child.
Yes.
And we do. And then sometimes we try to hold them to those expectations.
Right. And we got to dial it back. Expectations are unrealistic.
Yeah.
Right? That's good. I love that. One more question. How do you practice loving your child on hard days and loving yourself on hard days? How do you practice loving your child on hard days and loving yourself? So important. Because no matter what, we should love them no matter what. And I don't know if you remember, but both of us said, hey, we love you, dude, but we just don't like you very much right now because there's a lack of sleep, right? Yes. There's exhaustion or whatever the case may be, but the love never stops. It's unconditional, the way that God loves us unconditionally. So we want to make sure that we are giving that unconditional love to our kiddos and our adults with special abilities as well.
Man, you said something right there, man. What if God stopped loving us for the things that we did?
Ooh, that's a good point, right? So the flip side of that, right, if we are loving conditionally, that love can be taken away when we mess up.
Yeah. So.
Oh.
Yeah, I wouldn't want God to do that to me.
I don't want to be on the side of that. I don't want to be on the side of that. Okay, so now we want to teach you how to love. Now, don't get offended by that. I know you know how to love, but we want to teach you a different type of way to love, right? Remember, we're loving our varying exceptionalities. So I don't know if any of you have heard of a gentleman by the name of Malcolm Gladwell. He actually wrote this phenomenal book talking about blink moments. And so here's the question.
Oh, go ahead.
Can we, and all of you, fully love your special needs children even when you can't tell if they love you back? Can you fully love your special needs children even when you can't tell if they love you back? Yes.
Yeah.
And by the way, they do love us.
They
back.
do love us.
They do. But they show it and express it in a different way. And so, in thinking about that, also, how are we able to feel like they love us back when Braylon at one point was aggressive?
Yes.
He did not show any expression. He's nonverbal, so it's not like he can say it.
Yeah.
It's not something that he can sign. He doesn't have a device that he can push a button and speak that to us. So how are we able to feel that when they're unable to communicate it? So the blink moments. So the first thing is we want to, in case you haven't heard of what a blink moment is, right? Let's tell you what a blink moment is. So
let's define that.
A blink moment is that feeling or thought that you get before you consciously think about the situation. So it's like thinking before you think. And the name of the book is The Power of Thinking Without Thinking. So it's like that split-second decision that we make. It's an instinctive decision. It's a judgment that we make by our unconscious mind. It's a process of rapid cognition where actually our brain is filtering through massive amounts of information just to find a few critical factors in a situation. Now, here's the thing. Some of those blink moments, they're spot on.
Mm-hmm. Some are way off.
Some of them are way off.
Way
so that's
off.
the controversy with this philosophy. So an example that was given was, think about Tom Hanks, right? Most people think Tom Hanks, he's a nice guy, right? Just by listening to him talk.
Great guy, great movies. Mm-hmm.
Great guy, great movies, always smiling. He's funny.
Yeah.
He makes you laugh, right? And so it's probably an accurate split-second conclusion, but the reality is we don't know him. Right? We don't know him personally. We don't know him behind the camera. And then think about how those blink moments can mislead us. So Warren G. Harding, he was elected president of the United States because he was tall, he was handsome, and he had a very deep and comforting voice. To this day, he's still widely known as one of the worst presidents ever to lead our country. However, in a blink moment, right, he was tall, he was handsome, and he had a deep, consoling, and comforting voice. So those blink moments, sometimes they're on, sometimes they're off, but we want to choose to focus on the positive when it's actually on. And when we think about our love as a parent, it exists
without
reciprocation sometimes, right? Especially with our kiddos who are neurodivergent. They're not necessarily, you go to hug them, and our kids that are on the spectrum, a lot of them don't want that physical touch. And so they're not hugging back, or they're pulling away. They might even push you off, right? Because they don't want that physical touch. But does it mean that they don't love us? No.
Yeah, we have to and need to love unconditionally.
Yes.
And continue to remind yourself of that.
Yes.
Even if you're not getting, as you stated, not seem like you're getting that love back from the child.
Yes. So we want to encourage you to look for those blink moments whenever you can. Track those blink moments. Write them down. Put them in your journal. I'm a huge proponent of journaling. Tuck and pull them when you need to, when you're not feeling the love, when you're feeling down or feeling discouraged, then you've written them down, right? So you read some of those blink moments that you wrote down and then value those blink moments. Like, there are times where literally I remember when Braylon's self-injurious behaviors were at their height, where he would hit himself for hours at a time. He might stop for 20 minutes, start right back up for another hour, 2 hours, whatever. And this would go on all day long. At the end of that, I would say the blink moments, they were not positive, right? But as I began to shift my perspective and my way of thinking, I'm like, you know what? In those 20 minutes, this is an opportunity for me to recover. This is an opportunity for me to say he's not doing this intentionally. something's going on with him and he can't figure out how to communicate it. He can't self-regulate. And so I was able to, in that moment, say, this isn't intentional.
Yeah. And
he can't help it.
Honestly, it was a matter of self-regulating ourselves.
Ooh.
With that.
Yes.
Because we were on emotional highs at that point, feeling like he's doing this on purpose or to hurt us or hurt himself.
That's the unhealthy blink moment.
The unhealthy blink moment. But
yes.
really, we had an opportunity to self-regulate ourselves in efforts to, again, protect him, care for him, and to continually show him love that we have for him.
Yes. So remember, love has no labels. Love is expressed in so many different ways. Dr. Gary Chapman talks about the 5 love languages. There's 5 different ways that people express love, show love, and want to receive love, right? Their acts of service, their gifts, physical touch, quality time, and words of affirmation. And so our kiddos, they have these love languages as well. And so learning those love languages, that will help a lot of times with us being able to identify the way that they're showing love. And maybe that will help. But at the end of the day, just know that it may not look the way that you think it's going to look. It may not sound the way that you think it's going to sound. And it may not even feel the way that you want it to feel. But it doesn't mean that the love isn't there. So continue to communicate your love to your child with special needs, regardless of whether or not it is regurgitated, whether or not it's reciprocated. Doesn't matter. Like, you continue to show that love. Okay, so why do we need more blink moments? We want to be able to see beyond the label, right? See beyond the diagnosis.
Yeah. Strengthen the attunement and emotional safety. Reduce the overthinking and the guilt and comparisons. And just loving in the moment.
Yes.
Being present, loving in that moment. And reflecting on any biases.
Because we do have biases. We all do.
Yes.
It's not intentional, but we do. And so the blink moments, remember, they can be wrong. But when they're shaped by unexamined bias, you can almost guarantee that the blink moment will be wrong. So those blink moments, they are opportunities for growth, for healing, for relearning love. Relearning love, loving in the moment. Love becomes relational and not conditional. Remember, we don't want conditional love. We want to parent with confidence instead of this constant self-doubt. Because when we're living in self-doubt, we limit ourselves to being able to love in different ways and to see love in a different way. So see beyond the label.
Yeah. And in regards to overthinking and the guilt and the comparison, don't continue to question yourself with, am I doing this right? What would somebody else do in this situation? What would the experts say? We kind of live by, we made the best decision with the information we had at that time. Everybody has 20/20 vision if you look in the rearview mirror and say, man, we could have did things differently. But with the knowledge I had at that time, the maturity I had at that time, and the resources I had at that time, I made the best decision I could. Now I'm living with it, and we're just going to press forward.
And with the support that you had at that time, right? Yeah. Because that makes a difference, too. So some reasons why we love. It actually, I would say for me personally, since being a parent of a child with special needs, I have been constantly exposed to uncertainty. And for someone who likes to be able to predict things and control things, that has been a very uncomfortable space for me. But I recognize that cherishing what I can control, which is myself, is most valuable than anything. I have no control over what Braylon does, what this guy does, and these other children, life circumstances, none of those things. But I do have control over myself, so it really enhances and heightens my sense of self.
Next one is discovery. Children with exceptionalities may not be able to do everything that other kids can do at their age, but they're able to do things in different ways.
Yes.
In many, many different ways. So discover those things. It may be some trial and error in discovering those things, but definitely take the time and be very intentional about attempting to discover those things.
Yes. Also, perspective, right? We have to learn to be patient. And I've learned not to pray for patience because when I prayed for patience, I thought that I was just going to get this instant download of patience, but that is not the case. What happens is you're put into more situations where you have to exercise patience to strengthen and increase that muscle. So for me, I don't pray for it. I'm just like, okay, let me just be intentional about being more patient. And so it takes a lot of practice and it takes a lot of dedication. But the more patient we are, the easier it is to love.
Next is appreciation. We spoke earlier about asking God, why us? And we kind of turned that around to why not us? We appreciate this space that we're in. We appreciate this child that has these varying exceptionalities because of the people we've met, the maturity that he's bestowed upon us to grow out of being selfish at times. We really have to do things to take other people into consideration or take our child in consideration all the time. So we have an appreciation for where we are. We didn't know we would be here. We thought we may have lost him many, many years ago.
Yes.
So every day our son wakes up, no matter the challenge, it's a good day.
Yes. and being intentional about expressing gratitude, for everything, being intentional about looking for things to be thankful for and grateful for also helps to be able to love our kiddos. So taking the societal expectations filter off, man, that one is huge. Because when we are raising children with special needs, oh my gosh, society has a lot of opinions about how we should be doing that. I will never forget, I was in Publix one day and there was a child, because of what I know, I'm like, he's autistic, and he was having a meltdown. And the mom, you could just tell she was just overwhelmed, like she was just done. And the person behind me in the checkout lane literally was like, she needs to spank that kid. These new age parents, they just let these children do whatever they want to do. And I'm like, you have no idea what's going on over there. First of all, everyone doesn't believe in corporal punishment, so let's do that. But also, this child is autistic. He's having a meltdown, and sometimes you just have to let them go through what they're going through in that moment, and it'll pass. And so she may have been exercising a strategy that is taught by behavioral specialists, which is planned ignoring.
Yep.
That is what she could have been doing. And so we have to be very careful about when we're sharing our opinions and viewpoints about things. But for us, remember, we can't control other people. We control ourselves. So we're going to be intentional about taking the societal expectations filter off. We're going to do what's best for our children. We're going to listen to experts. We're going to listen to medical professionals and just learn not to pay attention to strangers' comments and their condescending looks when your child is having a hard time. I'm so over it. I'm so healed and delivered and free from that. But at one point I wasn't. But we have to grow to that, to ignore what it is that other people are saying and their looks.
I think in this environment, we have been brought into a space of resiliency.
Yes.
That unconditional love takes courage, determination, intentionality, perseverance, and just a strength that we didn't know we have to love unconditionally. So it's a choice, a choice that's made every day. But these experiences that you've had has grown you to be a very resilient person.
And when you are committed to healthy relationships, you do have to choose every single day to love and accept, right? Every single day in our marital relationship, in my friendships, every relationship you're in, if you want that to be a healthy relationship, you have to say yes every day to your self-work. You have to say yes every day to being patient, to giving the other person grace and accepting that they're going to mess up, they're going to make mistakes, and that's okay. We are so thankful for community. Community is so important. Support for Caregivers is about having a safe place, having a community and a space where people can come and just be themselves, be able to vent. We have some support group attendees who have some little potty mouths, and they know, like, listen, if that's where you're at today, it's okay. It's a judgment-free zone. You do what you feel like you need to do so that you can release that. So when you leave here, you feel lighter. We've been to support groups before where we felt worse leaving than we did when we came in. And so we were very intentional about wanting to make sure that anyone who comes to our group, that you leave feeling lighter. And if you don't, it's because you're making a choice not to release whatever it is that you came with, because it is a space for you to lay it all down, for you to be honest, and for you to vent, but also to get some tools, tips, strategies that can help you continue navigating this space. So it's important that all of us have a community where we have friends and we have family, therapists, specialists, experts, medical folks, school system people. It takes a village, literally, to raise these special needs kiddos.
You also have to regain and share your voice. Find that voice. As we stated earlier, there are doctors, professionals that are here to support the health of the child, but you indeed are the specialist. You're with that child 28 hours a day. And working with that child 28 hours.
Made up an extra 4 hours.
28 hours a day. and being an advocate for that child requires everything we talked about today. Patience, removing the guilt, but being stern about your stance, because indeed you are the expert. So you are able to challenge things. You are able to speak up about things. You are able to ask questions about certain things. Do that. Continue to do that. Find confidence in doing that. You're doing it the right way for the right person to truly be that voice of that child who may not be able to advocate for themselves.
Yes. Last but not least, empathy. Oh, my goodness. We have become, I think, we've always been somewhat empathetic in general, but having Braylon has really caused us to be so much more empathetic, not just to our own kiddos, but like to people in general. And, if we all were able to open our hearts and relate to other people who are struggling, how caring and kind would our world be, right? If we were all just able to be just a little bit more empathetic. So we just want to say, don't forget to blink. Don't forget to look for those blink moments and to write them down and pull from them when you need to. There's a QR code on the screen that you can scan to connect with us on all our social social media platforms. You can visit our website, supportforcaregivers.org, and you can learn all about our support group meeting dates. And most importantly, do not forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.